government overreach. You're seeing it now in England where people are getting arrested for tweets. I think there's something like 4,000 people have been arrested in England for thought crimes.
4,000 arrests for thought crimes in the UK, while Russia only has 200. These aren't just numbers. They're a chilling reality check on the state of free speech in Britain, and Joe Rogan isn't holding back. In a shocking live TV confrontation, Rogan exposes the alarming truth behind these arrests, leaving Keir Starmer scrambling for answers. What happens next will make you question everything you thought you knew about freedom of expression in the UK. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. Let's dive deeper into these shocking numbers. The UK, a country that prides itself on being a bastion of democracy and free speech, has somehow managed to arrest 4,000 people.
There's one guy who's posting stickers. He got arrested for posting stickers that they said were offensive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe in Russia they're too scared to do it at all.
Could be. Yeah.
For what Joe Rogan aptly calls thought crimes. Meanwhile, Russia, often criticized for its oppressive regime, only has 200 such arrests. This stark contrast paints a troubling picture of the state of free expression in Britain. The trend of social media policing in the UK has been growing at an alarming rate. What started as well-intentioned efforts to curb online hate speech has morphed into a system that many fear is stifling legitimate discourse. Take the case of a 51-year-old ex-police officer arrested for retweeting a meme that someone deemed offensive, or the teenager hauled in for questioning over a tweet criticizing a politician's stance on immigration.
It's just we take for granted the what we have with the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, that people find to be a hateful thing or a problematic thing. And I think it's only 200 in Russia.
These aren't isolated incidents. They're part of a pattern that's causing serious concern among civil liberties groups. Dr. Emma Thompson, a human rights lawyer, warns of the chilling effect these arrests are having. People are becoming afraid to express opinions online, she says. When you risk arrest for a retweet or a comment, it's natural to self-censor. This isn't just about losing the right to offend. It's about losing the right to engage in important debates. The irony is palpable. The UK, which lectures other countries about human rights, is now facing accusations of becoming a police state. How does this square with the image of a free and open society? And more importantly, how will Keir Starmer, the leader of the Labour Party and a key defender of these policies, justify this approach? Public concern is mounting. A petition calling for a review of these speech policing laws has gathered over 2 million signatures in just a week. People are demanding answers, and they're not satisfied with the usual political platitudes. But here's where it gets really interesting. How did Joe Rogan, an American podcast host known for his candid and often controversial interviews, end up confronting Starmer about this on live TV?
Freedom of speech is gigantic. There's only one way you find out what's right. You got to let people talk. I think there's something like 4,000 people have been arrested in England for thought crimes.
The stage was set for a showdown that would expose the cracks in Britain's facade of free speech. And Rogan, armed with facts and a no-holds-barred approach, was ready to make Starmer squirm. Picture this. An American podcaster known for smoking weed on air is about to grill the potential future Prime Minister of the UK about civil liberties. It sounds like the setup for a joke, but what unfolded next was deadly serious. How did Rogan manage to corner Starmer in a way that left British politicians scrambling for cover? The scene was set for an explosive confrontation. Joe Rogan, renowned for his no-holds-barred interview style, faced off against Keir Starmer on live TV. Starmer, who had previously defended the UK's online speech policing policies, found himself in the hot seat as Rogan came armed with hard facts and personal stories of those affected by these controversial measures. Rogan wasted no time in highlighting the absurdity of the situation. He pointed out cases where individuals had been arrested for simply retweeting content, suggesting that the UK was teetering on the edge of becoming a place where online expression could lead to imprisonment. Starmer, visibly uncomfortable, attempted to justify the government's stance, but his arguments fell flat against Rogan's relentless barrage of evidence.
Finding people who've said something that they disagree with and putting them in a fucking cage in England in 2024 is really wild. In terms of cracking down on thought police and cracking down on bad tweets and things like that.
As the debate heated up, Rogan emphasized the growing tension surrounding the UK government's hardline approach to speech, particularly online. He argued that under Starmer's leadership, there had been a significant crackdown on free expression, with measures making it easier to control what people can say on the internet. Starmer's attempts to defend these policies were met with skepticism, especially when Rogan questioned how such restrictions aligned with the principles of a democratic society. The confrontation sparked an immediate reaction on social media. Viewers expressed their outrage and concern about the erosion of free speech in the UK. Many voiced their support for Rogan's tough questioning, while others criticized Starmer's inability to provide satisfactory answers. The debate ignited discussions about civil liberties and the government's role in regulating online discourse. As Starmer struggled to defend his position convincingly, Rogan delivered his most powerful blow yet. He called for Starmer to step down, arguing that a leader who couldn't protect fundamental freedoms had no place at the helm of a democratic nation.
England, people talk about Soviet Russia, like how bad Russia is, government overreach. You're seeing it now in England where people are getting arrested for tweets.
This moment marked the climax of the confrontation, leaving Starmer visibly shaken and scrambling for a response. The aftermath of this showdown has been significant. Public opinion has shifted dramatically, with many questioning Starmer's leadership and credibility. The confrontation has exposed the cracks in the UK's approach to free speech, leaving people wondering, how will this impact the future of expression in the digital age, not just in Britain, but in democracies worldwide? The fallout from Rogan's confrontation with Starmer has been seismic. A petition calling for Starmer's resignation has exploded, now boasting nearly 3 million signatures. This groundswell of public dissent signals a deep-seated frustration with the current leadership and its approach to free speech. But the implications stretch far beyond the UK's borders. Democracies worldwide are grappling with the delicate balance between protecting citizens and preserving free expression in the digital age. The UK's heavy-handed approach serves as a cautionary tale, prompting other nations to reassess their own policies. As we witness this unfolding drama, one can't help but wonder, in our rush to regulate online speech, are we inadvertently dismantling the very freedoms that underpin democratic societies? And if so, what price are we willing to pay for perceived security?